In this video, you'll see how easy it is to upgrade an NBT Evo ID4, which can be found in 2016 year BMW 2, 3, and 4 series models, including the M models as well. If you have one of these, not only will you be able to take advantage of the OEM BMW CarPlay, which is built in the NBT Evo ID5, ID6, you also won't lose any of the connected iDrive functions. Because of this, 2016 models are the perfect candidates for NBT Evo ID5, ID6 upgrades. Make sure to get in touch with one of our team members through chat or email to confirm if your car is equipped with an NBT Evo ID4. When upgrading to an NBT Evo ID4 to an ID5 ID6, we're only going to be replacing the head unit and adding a Wi-Fi antenna. You do have the option though to upgrade to a touchscreen. In this situation, we'll be reusing the original non-touch screen. Here's a recommended list of tools that we'll be using. Definitely recommend BimmerTech's trim removal tool as it helps from marring up your surfaces and getting out those tough to remove connectors. Let's get the car in the bay, disconnect the battery, and set up the cameras so we can get started in the interior. With all that set up, let's grab our trim removal tool as we're going to need it to start the installation by pulling up on this trim piece. Carefully pry under and rock it back and forth till it comes loose. Once you've worked your way over to the driver's area, you should be able to switch over to using your hands by pulling it towards you. Then we'll start disconnecting the cables that control the caution lights, door locks, and temperature control. All of which are easy, simply squeeze and pull the connector out. We'll go ahead and set this aside safely. There are 4 screws that we got to remove for the control panel, 2 of which are hiding underneath this trim piece down here. It's simple enough to remove, just grab your pry tool, push it in, and pry out. We'll need to remove this connection here as well. Lift up on the plastic clip and slide out the connection. Piece of cake. Now we'll grab a T20 Torx bit with a screwdriver and remove the screws. Once you set the screws aside, pull out the panel carefully, turn it around, and disconnect the cable on the back. You may or may not have to use some pliers to pull it out the first time. With that done, we'll set that aside for later, and we'll grab a microfiber cloth to protect our surfaces from the head unit when we pull it out. We have 2 more T20 Torx screws to remove, so let's get that going. Set the screws aside and we'll carefully pull the head unit out. There's a cable clip here that we'll want to remove the cables out of. And then we can get started on disconnecting all the wires. We'll flip it over and we'll start by removing this monitor cable here. There's a clip you have to press in and then grab your trim tool to carefully pry it up as not to snap anything. And we'll do the same thing with the next one. The way BMW manufactured all these connections is each one has a clip that need to be pressed in, lifted up in order to be removed. And we'll keep moving along to these connectors over here. These ones have sliders that need to be lifted up before you can release the cable from its port. Moving cables aside to get to the quadra-lock connector, the locking clip has 2 tabs that need to be released by pressing in. Then slide the lock away from the head unit, and the connector should pop out easily. There you have it. Then lastly, we have this multi-pin connector that needs to be removed as well. And you probably guessed right, this one has a lock tab that has to be pressed in before you can pull it out. In this case, I've found it pretty easy to press in with my thumb and pry out with the pry tool. And now with all the wires disconnected, we can go ahead and swap out the head units. And if you've been following right along with me, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with this head unit backwards, connecting all the cables to their corresponding ports. Be sure when you're plugging the quadra lock back in place that it's unlocked prior to sliding it in. Grab our BimmerTech Wi-Fi antenna, as this F80 needs one. Plug it into the Wi-Fi port just underneath the quadra lock. We'll make sure the cable runs underneath the head unit. Now Now we'll go ahead and install the radio antennas. Connect our Bluetooth antenna. Then the cable for our USB port. Good to go, and now we can slide the head unit carefully back into place. Let's put the 2 screws back in. With that done, now we can put our control panel back into place. We'll grab the bottom trim panel and put that in as well. And last but not least, we'll connect the dashboard air vent panel. With that done, then we can reinstall it back into the dashboard and reconnect the battery to test the features. With this plug-and-play installation, it'll spring to life immediately. All the features and functions work just as you'd expect. If you happen to be in the Orlando location, pay us a visit, and you can get a hands-on experience playing around with an NBT Evo ID5 ID6 head unit. And again, I'd like to remind you, if you go onto our website and you enter in your VIN number, we can help you figure out if your car will be compatible with this install. It has plenty of great features that you'll want to get your hands on. And one thing that's also great is you can still use your navigation and FM radio at the same time. And for any of you who wondered, this installation only applies to 2016 2, 3, and 4 series models that have NBT Evo ID4 professional nav systems that were included in M series models. Another install down, and another happy customer leaving the shop. If you have any further questions or concerns, feel free to give us a call or visit us at our website at bimmer-tech.net. Once again, guys, my name is Chaz. Thanks for sticking around and watching this video. If you happen to have any questions, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to see the latest videos that we got here at the shop. See you next time.